Hey, so I am on lunch from my 9 to 5, and matter of fact, let me get my microphone. So this is definitely better. This is better, but so I am on lunch from my 9 to 5, and of course, if I'm on lunch from my 9 to 5, I am going to check my emails from my 5 to 11, which is life according to Cree, all things life according to Cree. So I responded to a couple of emails. I read a couple of emails, responded to a couple of emails, and then I had to look back at old emails in order to respond to one of the new emails. And I happened, once I do that, I realized that I scrolled past the email that I got back at the end of April, which has taken me on the professional journey that I'm on now. Um, So I don't like to share too much about certain things that I got going on because I mean, if I'm supposed to share, God will tell me in that moment. You can. That's neither here nor there. Nonetheless, um, when I was approached with the opportunity, by this company, they provided me with a list of things that I needed to do, concerning my products, my platform, in order, to be marketed in a way that would not only benefit their company but overall benefit me in the long run. Well beyond whether or not somebody likes a post, right? Because my goal has never been to be social media famous. It's never been that. So, um, but with working with this firm, it does open me up and has opened me up to so many different opportunities, just from an update standpoint. So I come across that even I get to thinking, like, if I would have listened to, let me see, what was that? Like 2022. Um, if I would have listened to what some people were telling me as far as you're doing this too fast, like every other week it seems like you're finishing something else. Like, why are you in such a hurry? Like, you ain't really doing nothing. You ain't going nowhere because everything that you do, like you on that computer 24 hours a day, like you don't get tired of sitting at the computer. Girl, you say you've been on the computer all day, girl, let's go do such and such and such. Girl, you can get off that computer for about 30 minutes. Let me tell you something. If I would not have put in the grind that I put in between, and even the fuck ups, because I had real life fuck ups, right? Because I was doing so much. But had I not thrust myself into all those things at once, 6 years later, I would still be trying to figure out shit. Like six years later, when this opportunity came to me, I still would have been trying to figure out how to make all these things work, being a team of one. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was really necessary for me to jump in head first the way that I jumped in head first. Because now, instead of them being like, oh, you're an author, can you give me titles? And I only have one title that can be marketed. I have what, 17? Let me see, nine, nine, four, nine, no, nine, five, nine, five, that's 14, 3, 17. Yeah, 17. I have 17 titles. So the suggestion was to go back through, revamp them, make sure that they are all visually on brand. Um, I was actually praised for the consistency of my social media content, and how that's branded. My brand is consistent. I'm not jumping all over the place trying to see what catch, trying to see what pops. I'm it. I'm it. Either you with it or you ain't. Because all I got is me. You know what I'm saying? Um, and as I grow into different things, then I can introduce those things as I grow. But creating a caricature or um character persona or a persona that's not me, that's not happening. And no matter how many suggestions that I get, um from people saying I should do this, I should do that, or conversations that I made preview to after the fact, where people are saying, you know what, she should do this, she should do that. No matter how many of those encounters I have, I know that focusing on the greater goal, which is beyond a quick dollar, because people say it a lot, but a lot of times they don't really mean it. They just want to sound humble. I want the check, but it's never been about check. It's one of the reasons why I work every day in my field, because I actually have a field of work that I'm certified for. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the reason why I work. I work to pay my bills so that I can build my brand and my business in a way to where it'll stand the test of time. Like, I had to learn that doing things for the moment rather than creating things that will stand regardless of whether or not I make a video is what's the most important. Um, but I'm actually about three-fourths of the way through one of the tasks that were assigned to me as far as cross branding um my books to my website, my podcast, and what I mean by cross branding, I mean, like, I wrote all but one of those books. The last book I published was in February 2025, and then I published another book on January 2026. So it had been an entire year. Um, but the branding from my platform online to my books was not the same. So I had to go back in. That's what I've been working on. Going back in and updating covers. The content of the books is still the same. I ain't like rewriting the motherfucker. Like rewriting nothing. Like, those are real things, real thoughts from my heart, real stories, you know, with my what I've been through versus what you should do, things like that. Like, those are real things. So the content is the same inside of the books. They are all still interactive journals. Just the covers don't change. The Life According to Creed logo is on them. But those things needed to be cross branded to fit the brand. And for brand consistency. So that's what I have been physically working on, because what I think I think that people be thinking, because there's so many quick, easy ways to get things done, that it don't take work, it don't take time. Yes, it does take work, it does take time. Writing those books, coming up with those different um questions and affirmations and all those things, that took time. Creating because I don't title any book until after I'm finished with it. I don't create a title until after I'm done. So titling those books took time because some of this ain't make no sense. Y'all gotta realize, a lot of times I be up in the middle of the night doing stuff, and then I go back and look at the next day and say, Lord, I should have went to sleep. I should have went to sleep. But like um creating the cover art, because with my kids series, I drew out those characters. I drew out those characters and then used, like, those characters are literally, that's my face, that's my sister face, that's my mama face, my Grammy Alice. I use my face as the template for it. I just draw me and then make me older, make my hair like hers, like I remember it, like, and then going in and edit. Like this, I have the ability for what I don't know. I have the ability to learn. I have the patience to learn. So all of that stuff takes time. I self-publish. That is a process. Self-publishing is a process. It's not just, oh, I got a book done, let me upload it to Amazon. There are steps to that, baby. There are steps. There are steps, measurement parameters, book size parameters, cover parameters, all that kind of stuff. All of that stuff. And if I wouldn't have went through all the trial and error over the past 5 years, the updating to cross brand those book covers, that will never ever change again, by the way. They will never change again. They will always remain the same after this. But going back through and doing that, to better fit what this marketing company wants, I feel like it's well worth the time because what I envision for myself and my brand is not something that can be promoted or booked by someone local. It just can't. It just can't. Like it's beyond. It's what I do locally. What I do locally is what we do locally. Like what I do is me. It's us. When I say me, it's us. It's me, my sister, my two sister cousins. Like what I do in my area is one thing. What these people are offering me is way beyond, way beyond. And you have to be careful when you're dealing with local people who want to be a manager, your promoter, things like that. You got to be careful of the other clientele that they have. I was reached out to that might have been March, about mid March, by a quote unquote local promoter who pretty much said, I could get you booked like for speaking events and stuff like that. After they found out about our brunch. And someone passed along the word like, hey, there's this woman, this shit, like her people do an event, like it's big, it's growing every year, like they love to do it. But like the girl Crystal, she's real entertaining, like the people, be engaged and all of that. You might want to look into representing her. And I was reached out to. I ain't gonna lie, I already had a nasty taste in my mouth about that person probably for over a year. Like there was no way in the damn hell. There was no way in the hell. And if I can't be the MC of that, I just think apples and oranges. And then like the clientele, at one point, the clientele that they had, it was way up here. It's way up here. Since then, not so much. Not so much. Like I don't like mess. I don't like mess. I don't like being attached to mess. Like the only mess that I'm willing to deal with is the mess that I create. Do I have any issue with cleaning up mess I created? Hell no. But being attached to other people's mess just ain't my thing. Especially not for a dollar. Especially not for a dollar. It's just not happening. It's just not happening. But back on focus, because it's about time for me to clock in. It's actually time for me to clock in. I'm gonna keep on talking to y'all while I clock in. But like to have passed on that possible opportunity to be provided, like even when they reached out to me, like it was like on some, let's go get this money. Let's go get this money. It's like like the crazy thing about this is this entire life according to Creed journey started because I wanted to impact middle school and high school girls. Like I wanted to, write some cool books and, you know, give some encouraging words, at a back to school function or at a summer camp, maybe host that type of event. Um, that was always the push and the drive. What makes me want to promote loving oneself was never about me losing some fucking weight. Let's clear that shit the fuck up. That shit to do with it. Anybody who's been rocking with me this past year or so, y'all already know. I don't give a fuck none of that shit. Care nothing about that. The whole thing about loving yourself was influenced heavily. I'll say 95% of it It's based on me being a high school basketball coach, being a grown woman, being one since 27, 28 years old, still being one until I was 40, 41. You know, something like that. It only been about 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 4 years ago when the school closed. Like all of it came from me living life, watching young women from the age of 12, 11, 12 and up mature from that age into womanhood and being impactful in their lives and realizing that I still had an impact long after they left high school. That's where this comes from. And that's where Life According to Creed comes from. Like it's literally love yourself first, according to Creed. That's where it comes from because really and truly learning how to love yourself, that starts as a kid. I love myself the way that I love myself because that was the way I was raised. From the time my movie started coming in. Like everything that I do now as a 40 something, 45-year-old woman started when I was a young girl. The confidence that I have with myself, with my looks, with my ability to learn, my ability to figure things out, like feeling smart, feeling capable, being curious. All of that began when I was a girl. And my mother and my grandmother, my aunts, my grandmother's sisters, because I was around them the majority of my life until I got to be about 17 years old and I moved down south. But like it was a heavy influence from my mother and my father, to always love who I am. And even when I started coaching, that's what I wanted to give to those young women, to those young girls. That a lot of them are now grown ass women that are in their 30s. Grown ass women that are in their 30s. And I love it. I absolutely love it. But that was always the goal. I coached for I used to like to tell the kids I made $4.62 a day. A day fooling with y'all. So it's never been about the money. My love for people has never been about money. Like almost can't even sit in conversations where people are talking about my business and my brand and they are heavily, heavily, into the whole why my status changing? Because I didn't change my status. And I watched it flip. Um, but it's heavily rooted in my desire to help other women in whatever capacity I can. There's some things I can't do. I tell people all the time, you need to talk to somebody. I mean, you telling me about it, but you definitely need to talk to somebody. They be looking at me like, damn, Crystal. But I said all that to say this. I really feel like I am. Do I feel overwhelmed? Yes, I do. Does it seem like a lot? Yes. What's being asked of me, is it too much? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Um, and I'm gonna keep on pushing, and I'm gonna keep on pushing, and I'm gonna keep on doing what I'm doing because I know what the greater purpose is. And I trust God to remove anybody from me that does not see me. Because if you're talking about anything other than I'm talking about, like I'm saying, this is what I'm trying to do, this is what I'm trying to da 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 da. I shouldn't have to tell you that a marketing company, a national marketing company, reached out to me based on what I already got in order for you to realize what you talking about ain't it. That my goal and my purpose ain't that. I shouldn't have to do that. Shouldn't have to do that, but I do. I do. It's crazy. It's crazy out here in these streets. Like, I am grateful for every little bit of support. Like, yeah, when I'm out and about and moving around and you're like, yo, you got a podcast, ain't it? Yeah, it do. You see me? Like, I am that. I am that. I would never pretend like that don't do not a thing for me because it do. It do. I'm very vain. I'm extremely vain. I have been vain all my life. That's my mama. Um, but you know what interactions impact me more than that? When I'm just being Crystal, there has been absolutely no mention of my online platform, my business, my website, my books, nothing. I am just out in the world living. And with me being the type of person that will talk to a brick wall, um, me having a conversation with somebody, just, the way you do, girl, what you drinking? Just random conversation with a random person. And they not tell me that, ooh, like, I like your podcast, or ooh, I like your videos you make on TikTok and Facebook. When they're like, hey, I saw that video you made the other night. It came up on my feed this morning, and you crazy, but I really needed to hear that. Those are the moments that feed me. I don't know how nobody else eat, but those moments, and I have those moments more often than not, or more often than the latter. Like, that's what that's why I keep doing it, even though there's people that question why I do it at all. Because for those moments, for those people, for the times where I'm somewhere talking. I was in a grocery store. That was not too long after my birthday. I was in a grocery store and I was having a conversation with my mom in the grocery store. Like, we literally on the aisle talking, kiki, and I'm telling her about something. And I saw a lady come around the corner. And and see somebody at the corner of your eye, because we were like toward the end of the aisle. Like, she came around the corner and she kind of like had this bewildered look on her face. And like, I saw her at the corner of my eye, but I just kept on talking to my mama. And she pushed her buggy down past me and my mom. And we were getting ready to leave out the aisle. And she said, hey, I know you. And I said, you know me? And my every time somebody tell me that they know me, I always ask them if they ever worked at one of my previous jobs, right? Because I worked at a company where every woman in my area has probably worked at some time or another. But that was my first thing. Like, I always asked that. And I was like, hey, you used to work at so and so? And she was like, no, no, I be seeing you online. She was like, and I heard your voice. And I said, that voice sound familiar to me. And when I came around the corner, I was like, the lady online with the glass. She was like, but I heard your voice, and I was like, I know that voice. That lets me know a couple of things. One, when you're scrolling and you hear my voice, you stop. You stop to hear what I got to say. And whether people think so or not, the things that I have to say when I say them, even if it's about a trending topic, how I expound on that topic doesn't come from here. It comes from here. So that's it. I just wanted to share that. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful and I'm thankful for everything that's going on in my life. Whether people understand it or not, whether people think they know what I should be doing based on their limited amount of knowledge of what I'm doing. I am grateful and I am thankful. I feel blessed to still have my mind. I feel blessed to still have the desire to influence and pour into others with the way that shit 2020 for me 2025 through 2026 been rocking and rolling. I feel blessed to still even have my mind and for the people around me to still have their mind. And I ain't gonna lie and tell y'all I'm gonna tune out the background noise and I just ain't gonna pay people no attention and I'm gonna rise up. Nah, I ain't that big. Like I'm literally, I'm gonna say something. I ain't holding nothing on my heart, and I ain't giving it God. God already know about it. I ain't got to go to him with it. He already know what I'm thinking. He already heard it when it happened. What we delaying? What we delaying? What we delaying next steps? Let's get into it. Let's get into it. I will be back with new episodes of Life According to Cree on Tuesday, which will be June 29th. So I see y'all then. Until then, I'm gonna get back to these people's job, and then this evening I'm gonna get back to. I'm telling you, when what's next comes, when it comes, I promise you, gonna be like, aha, y'all be good. I went 15 minutes on what I was supposed to be doing. Let me get back to these people work. Bye, y'all.